Good morning, Kirk. How are you?
I'm fine. It's been a busy day so far, as it always is in my world. And you know what I mean. When people are creatives, then it's non-stop in it. But anyway, would you like to introduce yourself to for everybody?
Hi, I'm Paula O'Reilly, and we're going to play my new single, which is out on the 15th of May, and this is Speechless.
Ah, cool. Should we go straight into the track? Do you think?
Up to you, Kirk.
I think we might actually, and then we'll talk about the concept behind it, and you obviously working with someone else on it. So I've played this a few times on my breakfast show because I really like it, and I always do a thing. Oh, I don't like country music. Well, yeah, you're listening to the wrong country music, aren't you? So I just need to find. I thought it was out on the 15th of April.
No, it's May, 15th of May.
Ah, and some naughty person's gone and started playing it already, haven't they?
Yeah.
And I've been playing it. I've been banging it out. So we'll be right back.
Brilliant.
We'll be right back, people. Have a listen to this. It's called Sleepless, and when I heard this on the weekend, I played it 3 times back to back, and that is not a lie. That's the truth. Right, here we go. Takes a second. It will do it in a minute. Come on. I'm playing it from the station. There you go.
You are the one for me. Came alive by your side, I idolized your company. You were the song that I would sing. Bursting with pride to be your bride, to wear your ring. Didn't know there was something wrong to you. Called out her name. In 1 second I knew I'd be never the same. I'm nearly breaking. I'm on my knees. This is taking hold of me. This time is over. So don't pretend. I'm in pieces, I'm speechless, and I'll be alright in the end. You were the one who stole my heart and knew what it meant 100% from the start. Fool for your eyes, you were my prize. The race was won. Bursting with pride to be your child, to raise your son. I didn't know I could feel so angry, so sad, so lost at the same time. I didn't know I could lose you at the turn of a dime. But thought you're mine. I'm nearly breaking. So don't pretend. I'm in pieces, I am speechless, but I'll be alright in the I'm nearly breaking. I'm on my knees. This is taking hold of me. Yeah. This time it's over. And I won't pretend. I'm in pieces, I am speechless, but I'll be alright in the end.
Wonderful, wonderful. She's chuckling away there, chuckling away, because I'm bopping. I'm on my own. When I'm in the studio, I'm rocking it. People can't, do you know what I mean? I love that, honestly. It's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you very much.
I did change some screens there, so you wasn't there all the time. It's a bit awkward when you sat there for a minute, because that track's a long track. It's nearly 5 minutes long, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I thought,
I was a bit worried about that, where the radio stations would play it.
of course you will. It's not 1960 where it's
we
2
need
minutes.
that big finish.
No.
We needed the big finish in it.
Got a big finish. No, see, that's great. That's great for DJs, because if you need to go for a quick tinkle or when put the kettle on, 5 minutes.
No,
It's
a cup of tea,
it's a good
biscuit.
It's a good time.
It's fine.
I do it. I'll be right back, and I put a long track on, and off I go. So, I love that composition. I think your voice is fantastic. Obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be here, would we? But your voice is wonderful, and that song's very powerful. I love it. Love it to bits.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I wrote it a couple of years ago, actually, and it's not autobiographical. Which when I first played it to my family, they rang me immediately and said, "What's going on?" And I said, "No, it's my husband. Don't worry." So yeah, it was kind of observations of stuff going on in other people's lives and wondering how that would feel. You know.
Well.
That had happened to me, so just putting pen to paper and that was the result.
But when you listen to that track, and I can understand why your family asked that, because it sounds very authentic when you're singing it. It doesn't sound like, I'm just singing, so I'm a bit sleepless. It's full on. I love it. So you were saying you've gone to a different producer, haven't you, for that particular track?
Yeah, so I wanted to do a new album. I'd started to write a few new songs. That one's actually from a couple of years ago, but most of the songs were written the back end of 2019 and then into lockdown last year, and finished off a good collection of songs, about 12 songs. And I wanted to get them produced, and I really wanted like an American country sound. And I was finding that quite tricky, actually. So it took quite a while to just spending loads of time listening. I live in Ireland, and listening to loads of tracks, and finding a producer in Ireland that I felt could really get the sound I was looking for. And then I found Dave Arkins, who has a studio up near Slane Castle, and he's fantastic. And he'd produced some songs that I really liked. So I rang him and we hit it off immediately, knew exactly what I was looking for, what's that kind of sound I needed. So we got in the studio last summer, and it was with a view to get the album finished by kind of November. But got in the studio and really lockdown happened. And I live down in County Wexford. He's up in Slane. It's a long way. So there was, the country was pretty much shut down. So it took a very long time before I could actually go in and do the vocals. So I didn't manage to do the vocals till just before Christmas. and then with him trying to get the rest of it finished, and he was mad busy actually, even though with the lockdown and everything, suddenly he was his services were very much called for. So all the musicians, they were all working from home, so coordinating all of that, and finally got the tracks finished, just the first 3 tracks just finished in the last few weeks. So the album's probably not going to be ready till towards the end of this year, because we're still in lockdown. I know you guys are open and the pubs are open there, but we're still very much on lockdown over here. Nothing's open. So I can't go outside the county. So I think it'll be towards the end of the year before the album's finished. But I've got the first 3 tracks done. So Speechless is out 15th of May. And then there'll be another couple of singles coming out in throughout the summer.
Excellent. Yeah, that must be killing Ireland. You can't know pubs open because the Irish, we've been stereotypical, like to go out for a drink, as do the British, as us English do as well. We like to have a drink. So that must be pretty. But yeah, it's just started to open up now. We've you can go outside to a pub or a restaurant. The weather doesn't lend itself currently. During the day, I went on Monday when they first opened, and I came back and I was freezing. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I expect those outdoor heaters of the sales for them have gone through the roof.
Well, they didn't have any of the pub where I was, and it was freezing. But there you go. It's one of those things. But yeah, it's been an interesting time for us all. So are you planning when things open? Have you been doing any? Because you've got some tracks already released, haven't you? You've got Nightshade. How are you feeling? Is that Shelter Me? How could I?
So that album, it's actually very old. I released it online a couple of years back, but it is actually from 2003 when I made that album. CD, and then I kind of brushed it off and released them digitally just a couple of years ago. So I've got the Far Away album on Spotify, and then a couple of years, about 18 months ago, I released the single How Are You Feeling, and that was a charity single to raise funds for Mind, which is a mental health charity here in Ireland for bipolar disorder and depression. So that song was really to raise awareness as well as funds for that charity.
Well, let's have a little bit. Won't play all of it, but let's have a little bit of that track, because when you said you can't play the track yet, it's not been released. I played this one, so let's have a little bit of this. Oh, go. So that's How You're Feeling by Paula O'Reilly. So that's totally different to the sound of Sleepless, isn't it? It's a totally different sound. I know what you mean about and I think that's why I really like Sleepless, because I listened to it and it just oozes American country, and I think it's fantastic. So you released that 18 months ago.
Yeah, so that was a charity single. The song is probably more poignant these days. It's about, I guess, reaching out to people and seeing how they're doing. Particularly in the workplace, you work with people all day long, and how often do you actually look a little bit beneath the surface and see how they are actually doing? So many people are fighting mental health problems, and it's a difficult thing to talk about. It's becoming more easy, I guess, these days to talk about it, but still there is a bit of a stigma attached. So I guess it's just about reaching out and just checking in with your friends or your colleagues and making sure they're okay and having that conversation just in case no one else has bothered to ask them.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you're right. And especially with all the COVID and lockdown, people are under even more pressure because we're fortunate. We've got we're together. We've got family and got plenty of space. So we've got our own space to go into. I've got a cabin. My wife's got a cabin. Do you know what I mean? So lockdown for us last year wasn't really much of an issue. We bought a hot tub because we couldn't go away. So it was like getting a hot tub, do me shows, do this, that, and the other. So we were fine. But I can imagine for a lot of people, especially if they were on their own, how being isolated can really affect you. So definitely go and check that track out. How you feeling? It's on Spotify, and go and give it a stream and give it a share. Please give her a follow as well on any social medias you can. Yeah. So are you planning to do any touring when everything's open?
I am. Now, again, here in Ireland, things are really slow getting back to normal. So I know in the UK, some of my kind of friends who are musicians are gearing up for live performances in the summer, but here is happening yet. So at the moment, I'm just doing some live streaming. So you usually on a Friday night at 9, doing some live streaming on Facebook and doing few of my own tracks and a few covers, country covers, old and new. So there'll be a little bit of the old Dolly Parton and a bit of Ashley McBride and Miranda Lambert in there.
Oh, brilliant.
Songs.
Brilliant. And you mix them and that's a good idea, because if people, and we try and do that on the station as well, is yes, we play some of the things that people know, and then we play some stuff that people don't know, and you mix them in between, and it's because if you just fire everyone with stuff they don't know, it becomes too much, I think. So good idea. Good idea. But that's what I was sort of laughing to myself there, because when you say I do a country music show, everyone just thinks it's going to be Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers for 2 hours, and I'm like, oh my God, you're missing the point here, aren't you? And it's everything and everything in between. You've got some classic country, and you've got some southern rock, you've got blue, everything and in between. And so I want to interview you so I can get you on the show and share it with people around. So. Oh, pretty cool. So, are you a full-time performer? You've not even done that? Or?
I'm not. No, I do work as well in recruitment. So I recruit for like pharmaceutical and medical device companies.
Excellent.
Which is an interesting job. It's a very people-focused job. So I spend most of my day, interviewing people or talking to clients. So it's an interesting role. And I was a full-time musician until I had my children, and then after that you kind of think need a bit of stability, and my daughters are 11 and 13 now, and so as they're getting a bit older, I've started to really focus again on the music. But in fact, Kirk, they became a bit more famous before I did. They had a single out in the at Christmas time, just before Christmas, which was called White Wexford Christmas. That was a song I wrote, and the two girls, they performed it, and it actually was a really big hit locally here.
Oh wow! Is it online at all? Is it on Spotify or anything?
Yeah, it's online. You can buy it. Yeah, it's a lovely song.
Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, it's on Spotify. Yeah, so Molly and Maisie O'Reilly.
Molly and Maisie O'Reilly. I like that. Is that what they go? Is that what they go on? Is that the?
Yeah. So it's Molly Molly and then Maisie Maisie O'Reilly.
Is it two L's for Molly? Did you say?
Yeah. And that was it was really popular down here in Wexford. So it was all on the local radio stations and everything, and so there's me trying to be a pop star all my life, and then all of a sudden they are by the ripe old ages of 11 and 13.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm trying to find it, but I'm probably not spelling it right.
Yeah, maybe if you just put O'Reilly and White Wexford Christmas, that might come up.
Oh, I'll tell you what, White Wexford. Yeah, go on, carry on talking while I look.
Yeah, so the girls that have lovely voices, and Molly plays the guitar. So I am actually going to be doing a track, particularly with Molly, for the new album. There's a really nice track I've written that Molly and I are going to perform. So looking forward to doing that one. And
this has been produced by David Atkins as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, the White Wexford Christmas was produced actually by a guy locally here in Wexford called Mick Egan, who's a fantastic local musician. And but Dave just kind of finished it off. He kind of remixed it and added some extra sparkly bits to it, and remixed it and mastered it.
Excellent.
And,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a massive Christmas fan. I don't like it. It just drives me insane. I like the essence of it, but it's the building up from September right through, and some of the presenters are Christmas nuts. So we have a thing on the station: no Christmas music before the 1st of December, and the end of December goes off, and that's it. Bush. Yeah. So do you know what? I'm going to play a little bit of it. I found it. I'm breaking my own rules here. Got to listen to Molly and Maisie O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get famous. Let's get more famous than the mum.
Yeah, the competition's on.
Here we go. Dougie Stone Radio playing Christmas tracks.
Settle all the black stairs mountain and the white mountain living up to its name. And the snowy peak peaking its mount in Leinster, but in Wexford County it's not quite the same. In the sunny southeast, it doesn't quite reach 0 degrees out here. But as I look around, I see the white cloud. Wanna make it this year. Will it be a white Wexford Christmas?
I'm loving this. I'm liking that. Christmas in... Early Christmas on Dougie Stone Radio. I'll tell you what, Mum, you've got some competition now, I think. Am you?
Yeah, very, very talented girl.
Hey, they can sing. They're going to be more... I think they might be more famous than you, them two.
And they had such a good time singing it. It was actually August when we recorded it in the studio. It might be in early September, but it was a boiling hot day. And we were all trying to get in the Christmas.
We've threatened to have a crap Christmas special at outside my studio here with fake snow and everything in June or July as a bit of a laugh, but I don't know if it'll come off. But hey, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be about you, but hey, if all the O'Reillys getting in on the action, doesn't matter, does it? Does your husband not sing as well? Does he not? We've not got him singing. Only when he's had a few Guinness.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. That is great, that. They're definitely, I've just sent that to the team because I know Eddie King, who is a mad Christmas nut, will be playing that.
Lovely. Yeah, that's what we need. Get it out there.
That's excellent.
It was very popular locally, but it's probably quite a local site. And there's a lovely little video on YouTube, just shots of Wexford in the snow. So if you ever wanted to know what
We'll have a look at that.
It's called the sunny southeast here in Ireland because it's as it is today. The sun's usually shining, but it hardly ever snows. And about 3 years ago in March, it snowed really, really heavily. So all the photos in the video from that kind of one time where it did really snow here in Wexford.
Excellent. But I know this is an interview for you, but that is brilliant. and that's what happens with me. We go all over the place. There's never anything scripted. And I really like that. Your voice is fantastic. And you can tell you girls have inherited your voice because they're brilliant as well. So sorry about that, a little deviation from Yeah, we are talking to Paula O'Reilly about musical skills. Yeah, it's great. That's absolutely brilliant. I love it to bits. Love it to bits. I reckon they're going to carry on in your footsteps and they're going to keep on doing it. And it's great to have that, a shared interest, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the last year with lockdown, and it's tough, especially on the children. They're 11 and 13, and we live absolutely in the middle of nowhere. We've got cows and sheep and goats, and that's all you can see when you look out the window. So we would literally go months on end, and the girls wouldn't really see another human being apart from Billy the postman. So the music has been fantastic because it's just that creative outlet, and we can all sit together, play a few tunes. Molly likes to do a bit of kind of rock guitar, and she gets that hour she'll be playing in the bedroom, but it's a great outlet for them and for all of us as a family. So yeah, music is a big part of our lives, and it was with me growing up. I come from a musical family. My uncle Paul in particular he's a professional musician, and I was so fortunate. He did worked with me a lot, and when I was 18 I joined his band, and that was a great platform for me to be kind of a full-time professional singer, and have him there to kind of guide me along the way and help me out. So that was fantastic growing up in that kind of environment.
Brilliant. Well, you might have already done it. Is there any tracks on the album that's got your daughters on as well, or is it just all you?
Well, there's going to be. So we've actually started. Dave's busy working away on one at the moment. It's a track called Emergency Call, and that will actually be with me and Molly. So we're going to do a track together, and then just trying to think about doing a track with me and Maisie. We haven't quite got around to that. I have proposed a couple of songs, but they've dismissed them.
All right, fair enough.
In particular, so there's a couple of songs like, no, it's too cheesy. No, they're not cool enough for them. So they're
yeah, you should be like, hang on a minute, you're the session singer here. This is my gig. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is what we're singing.
No, I think they're far more concerned with their reputation than I'll sing anything. I'm not bothered.
Excellent.
They have their reputation to protect.
Well, yeah, I've got a rep, mum. I can't be singing that rubbish. You know what I mean? I've got a street cred to build. I'm trying to build my own career. Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah. It's great.
So I've got to get it past them artistically first. Or to be honest, every time I write a new song, I'm like, I've got a new song, come and listen to it. And I have to get it past them first. If they're looking at me and they're a bit like, and I think, no, I've got to go again. I've got to keep going. And is it like a seal of approval? They're a very good judge.
And that is good, but obviously there's an issue with the age gap there, because you've got, I like stuff, and if I played it to some, my son's 90, my youngest one's 90, I played it, go, what the hell was this? But actually, other people, so you've got to be a bit careful that they're not youth, tricky, giving it just the youth slant on it. But having said that, there's a lot of younger people into country music now, isn't there? I've been to a few concerts. Yeah. I was staggered. I went to see Brothers Osborne.
Brilliant.
And, God, I can't think now. Anyway, went to see a couple of acts, and I couldn't believe when I went to see Brothers Osborne with my dad. It was his birthday. We went to Manchester to watch him. And I walked in, I was expecting it to be all old people like me.
Yeah.
And I was looking around and said to me, look at these, like teenagers and, gangs, but groups of lads as well. And you think, wow, and singing along to the songs. And so there's a real big movement that I don't think a lot of people know.
I mean, before COVID, I would go to country every year with the girls, usually, as well, with my husband and the two girls. And such a fantastic experience. And for any of the listeners that don't know what that is, it's a big kind of long weekend, and you have it in Dublin, and then at the O2 in London, Scotland, and now in other countries as well. And you have massive acts. And so we would see, me, Molly and Maisie went to one, and in one day we saw Carrie Underwood, Maren Morris, we saw, Maddie and Tay, Dan and Shay, and a fella, I can't remember his name, it's going to drive me mad. It wasn't Thomas Rhett, but it was, I can't remember his name now. But absolutely fantastic, all in one day, seeing all of those acts on one stage. And the audience, there was a lot of young people in the audience, and a lot from Europe, mainland Europe would come, actually. And, a lot of youngsters there would be very much into the country music as well.
I've not been yet. I keep every year going, I've got to go to country, and I've tried to book them, sold out. And obviously last year it wasn't on; it was postponed. Every year I've got it in my diary when the tickets go live, and I'm there trying to get the best tickets. I know. I definitely need to go because, especially doing a country music show, I should be there. Shouldn't I? Keep saying I've got to go and get press passes, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. No, it's great. Really, it's been wonderful to get to know you and get to know you a bit about your music, and that's why it's good to do an interview, because you would listen to the music and say, "Oh, it's great," this, but I think what helps is when you get behind the actual song and you get behind to the artist and you get to know the artist, because I think that it's more powerful, and for people listening, they can connect with you, and that's what I'm trying to do, is get people to connect with the artist.
Thank you.
So where can people, if they wanted to find out a bit more about you, or they want to connect with you, what's the best place for them to do that? Where can they do that?
So at the moment they can do that on Facebook. So if you just look me up, Paula O'Reilly, I think you've got a link to me there, and Instagram, Paula O'Reilly Official, and then on Spotify as well. I think I'm the only Paula O'Reilly on there at the moment.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Too tricky to find me. I am doing the Facebook Live shows once a week, usually a Friday night at 9. It does vary slightly, but yeah, they're just acoustic. It's called Four Walls and My Guitar, which is a line from one of my songs, which is so basically I thought, well, that's all that I am doing. It's just the four walls, me and my guitar. So that's the live Facebook show every Friday at 9. Hopefully later on in the year we will be able to do some live performances, which will be amazing to get back out there, get on the road and do a few tunes. But for now it'll all be online.
Excellent. Well, if you want to share any of those broadcasts on Dougie Stone Radio Group, just feel free, just put them on there. If you're going live, just put them on there. And then if people want to, are interested, they can. I have got I've got a country page, but I've hardly used it. I've hardly got any followers on it. So, but if you use the Dougie Stone Radio Group or the page, feel free to just put your live streams on there. Not because that's what the page is about, or the group. It's not about us going, we're only controlling what we put on there. As long as it's not abusive or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying you.
Keep it clean.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying it's a community for people to connect and to share stuff and share music. So any artist, if they want to put the stuff on there, that's what it's all about. We're about pulling. We're out trying to connect the planet one show at a time, and that's what we're trying to do. And we've got shows. It's Friday when we're recording this, but later on today we've got a show from Puerto Rico. Javier does a 2-hour salsa show. And that's what it's all about. So it's very different. But it's been wonderful to get to know you and chat to you. And I wish you every success with the single once it gets released official. And also say hello to Molly and Maisie for us as well, because we think they will.
Thank you very much, Kirk. And thanks so much, Dougie Stone